Branch line engines. Thomas the Tank Engine story. It is the year 1960, and Thomas the Tank Engine has worked his branch line for many years and knows it very well. One day his driver said, "You know just where to stop, Thomas. You could almost manage it without me," he said. Thomas, on the other hand, had already become conceited. He hadn't realised his driver was joking. Back at the sheds, he boasted to the others. "Driver says I don't need him now," Thomas announced. Percy and Toby were aghast.
"Don't be so dark,"
snorted Percy. Toby agreed. "I'd never go without my driver," said Toby earnestly. "I'd be frightened." But Thomas was determined to prove Percy and Toby wrong by showing he could manage without a driver. Next morning, the firelighter came as Thomas drowsed comfortably. The warmth spread through his boiler. As Percy and Toby were still asleep, Thomas suddenly remembered. "Silly stick in the mud," Thomas chuckled. "I'll just go out, then I'll stop and wheeze. That'll make him jump." Thomas thought he was being clever as his wheels started to turn, though privately he was only moving because a careless cleaner had fiddled with his controls. He soon found out his mistake. He tried to wheeze, but he couldn't. He tried to stop, but he couldn't do that either. He just kept rolling along. "Those fuckers will stop me," he thought. But that sighting had no buffers. It only led to a road. Didn't dare look at what was coming next. There was the station master's house. Station master's family were having ham and eggs. Horrors! Thomas cried and he shut his eyes as his wheels crunched the tarmac. The house rocked. Broken glass tingled, glass was everywhere. Thomas had collected a bus in his tunnels. He peeled him for room for its legs. He couldn't speak. The station master was furious. His wife picked up her plate.
"Miserable engine,"
she scolded.
"Just look at what you've done to our breakfast. Now I shall have to cook some more."
She slammed the door. More plaster fell. This time it fell on Thomas. Thomas felt depressed. Workmen propped up the house with strong poles and laid rails through the garden. Meanwhile, Donald and Douglas arrived to help. "Right door, Thomas. Let's get you back on track. Come on, Dougie," said Donald. "Right behind you, Donny," agreed Douglas. Just as they puffed hard, managing to haul Thomas back to safety. Bits of fencing, a bush, and a broken window frame festooned his front, which was badly twisted. Winds laughed and left him. Thomas was in disgrace. "What will the Fat Controller say?" he thought. "We are extremely disappointed in you, Thomas," said his driver. "You can say that again," said the Fat Controller. "I've told you many times about showing off, and now you've dented your front. You must go and get it mended. It'll be a long job." "I know, sir. I'm sorry, sir." Thomas's voice was muffled behind his bush. Meanwhile, a diesel rail car We'll do your work, Thomas. Uh-oh, sounds like trouble. Thomas was horrified. A fat controller turned on his heel and walked sternly away. After Thomas's recent accident with the station master's house, the Ffarquhar branch line was in a great deal of trouble. Percy and Toby arrived at the junction where the fat controller was waiting, with another engine. "Here," the fat controller said, "is Daisy, the diesel rail car who has come to help whilst Thomas is, indisposed." Percy was curious.
Please, sir, will she go when Thomas comes back?
"That depends, Percy," said the fat controller. "Meanwhile, however long she stays, I hope you will both make her feel welcome and comfortable."
We'll try, sir,
said Toby and Percy in unison. The fat controller was pleased to hear it. Daisy, as you may know, was hard to please when the three engines arrived at the sheds.
This shed is painfully smelly.
Daisy scowled.
And everything smelly is bad for my swerves.
Next, they tried the carriage shed.
This is better, but whatever is that rubbish?
The rubbish turned out to be Annie, Clarabelle and Henrietta, who were most offended.
We won't stay here to be insulted.
They sobbed. Percy and Toby spent most of the evening soothing Russell's feelings. Things got worse for Toby and Percy next morning. Daisy, on the other hand, was as bright as anything.
Whoa, whoa!
He tooted as he came out of the yard, where a lot of passengers were waiting for her.
Look at me, I'm the latest diesel, highly sprung and right up to date. You won't want Thomas's bumpy old Annie and Clarabelle now.
The passengers were interested. They climbed in and sat back comfortably, waiting for Daisy to start. Usually, milk tanker is coupled to Thomas's first train. Farmers would send their milk to a station, and Thomas takes it to the dairy. Thomas enjoys the extra load, but Daisy hated it. As soon as she saw a tanker being coupled up to her, she was less than cooperative.
Do they expect me to pull that?
She asked indignantly. She was not happy at all. "Surely, you can pull one tanker after all," said her driver.
I won't. Percy can do it. He loves messing about with trucks.
Daisy fumed. She began to shudder violently. "Nonsense. Come on now, back down," scoffed her driver. Daisy lurched backwards. She was so cross, she blew a fuse.
Told you.
He said triumphantly, and stopped. Shunter, the guard, the station master, and her driver all argued with her, but it was no use.
It's Fritta's orders,
she said at last. "What is?" quizzed her driver.
My fitter's a very nice man. He is interested in my case. He comes every week and examines me carefully. Daisy, he says, never pull. You're highly sprung and pulling is bad for your swerves, so that's how it is.
Finished Daisy. "Stuff and nonsense," said the station master. "I can't understand," said the shunter. What made the fat controller send us such a feeble...
Feeble, let me.
Stop arguing.
Stop!
Tell the passengers. So they uncoupled the tanker, and Daisy turned away
feeling very pleased with herself.
That's a good story.
She chuckled.
I'll do just what work I choose and no more.
But she said that to herself. Toby, as you may know, has cow catchers and side plate. They help to prevent animals from getting hurt if they stray onto a line. Daisy, on the other hand, thought they were silly. She said Toby was afraid of getting hurt himself, but Toby was indignant.
As you can see, Toby, I'm up to date and you're so nuts because I don't have silly cow catchers.
Daisy pompously. I'd be careful if I were you, Daisy, warned Toby, thinking of cows straying on the line.
Nonsense, Toby. I'm not frightened. I just toot and they'll all get out of my way in seconds,
said Daisy pompously. They don't, said Toby simply.
They would with me. Animals simply run if you toot and look them in the eyes.
Toby knew that Daisy hadn't met a bull, but Daisy was being painfully pompous. Meanwhile, Daisy arrived at a station where a policeman was waiting. There is a bull on the line. Please drive it along towards the farmer. Daisy was excited. Champion wasn't really a fierce bull, but this morning he was cross. They'd driven him away from his field before he had finished his breakfast. He broke out of a van, taking him to market, onto a path, and then onto a tracks. Daisy, meanwhile, was on the way to the bull's location when she arrived.
Whoa!
Tooted.
Go on.
But Champion was having none of it.
Oh!
She tooted again. Again, Champion ignored her.
This is all wrong. How can I look him in the eye if he won't turn around?
Daisy was beginning to lose patience, so she tried again.
Move, stupid bull!
At last, Champion noticed. Meow, he said, and came towards her.
Oh!
Said Daisy feebly, as the guard and the policeman came along and tried to shoo Champion, but to no avail. It turned out that Champion was an inquisitive sort of bull. Go on, Daisy. He's harmless. But poor Daisy was too frightened to do anything else as the curious bull crawled towards her and sniffed her. She wailed weakly, backing hastily. When Daisy returned, she saw Toby. Ah, Daisy, did you enjoy proving your ideas were better than my cow catchers? He asked, but Daisy didn't reply. Ah, well, we live and learn. I guess I'll have to deal with Champion myself. He clanked away. Champion didn't notice Toby or his bell until Toby whooshed him with steam. Then Toby shooed him away gently along the track to where the farmer and his men were waiting. Daisy had an exhausting day. Toby and Percy often met her on their journeys, and though they never mentioned bulls, they gave her pitying looks. It made her cross. Her last journey was to a top station where she saw a group of boys. Suddenly, one of them came running with a bag.
Look,
who wants a bullseye? I do.
I think they're brilliant, don't you?
Daisy didn't think so.
Ah!
She groaned,
Those bullseyes away from me.
and she scuttled to her shed.
A little while later, Toby was backing into the yards where Percy was grumpily shunting. Hello, Percy. My, you seem in a right fluster. Has Daisy left the milk again? Asked Toby innocently.
I'll have to make a special journey with it, I suppose. Anyone would think I'd have nothing to do.
Said Percy grumpily. Then Toby had an idea. Tell you what, I've got some trucks that need to be taken into the yard. If you pull my trucks, I could take over your shunting. Won't that be nice? And so it was arranged. Percy went to the quarry whilst Toby took over his shunting duties. Now the trucks, as you may know, were none too aware of this, and so they decided to devise a plan. What? Right, he has Percy. He's a big poke in his funnel round here. This is Toby's place, not some little green caterpillar with red stripes. So they decided to devise a plan by spreading the word.
Come along, no nonsense.
Said Percy sharply as he backed down onto the trucks.
The silly trucks had other ideas.
We'll give him nonsense.
Later, once the trucks had been cobbled up, Percy was on his way. The trucks giggled and chatted about their plan. Whilst Percy was making his way through the countryside, there was a sign warning all trains to stop and pin down brakes. Called Percy. But Percy hadn't reckoned about one thing. He had now been diverted into a runaway sighting. Percy skidded into the yard. And right into a brake van of a passing train. Luckily, no one was hurt. But the brake van was in smithereens. And while Toby and Daisy came to help clean up the wreckage, they also bought the Fat Controller, who scolded Percy severely. "We must now try," said the Fat Controller, "to work the branch line with Toby and the Diesel." He went on, "You have put us in an awkward predicament." He snapped firmly.
Sorry, sir.
Percy was embarrassed. "You can stay there until we are ready." Then the Fat Controller turned and spoke severely to Daisy as well. "My engines work hard on my railway without shirking. Send insolent, lazy and disruptive engines away. However, Toby tells me that you worked hard after Percy's accident, so I am willing to give you another chance."
Thank you, sir. I will work hard. Toby says he'll help me.
"Good," said the Fat Controller firmly. "Our Toby's an experienced engine. What he doesn't know about branch line problems isn't worth knowing," he added. Just a few days later, Thomas came back, and from that day to this, things changed for the better on the Ffarquhar branch line. Things went so well that even Daisy managed to shoot a bull off of the line all by herself. She also now knows that it's not wise to complain about the jobs being given. That shows you, doesn't it?